Good morning, students of class 7. Welcome to history class. We are reading chapter 10, The Far East in the Middle Ages. Our lesson for today is section 10.2, that is the Tang period in China. We will read about its administration and learning and literature. The Tang dynasty that ruled China from 618 to 907 AD was an imperial dynasty of China that came after the Sui dynasty and was followed by 5 dynasties and 10 kingdom periods. So you already know this from your last class. It was founded by the Li family who came to power during the fall of the Sui Empire. Now the Tang kings, they not only united the Chinese empire but also expanded it by conquering many new kingdoms. They also recovered the regions which were lost due to foreign aggressions. Gradually, they captured Korea, Manchuria, Mongolia, etc. Thus, by the middle of the 8th century, the Tang Empire extended up to the Caspian Sea in the west. And this dynasty, with its capital at Shangyan, which is the biggest city in the world at that time, is considered by historians as a highest point in Chinese civilization, maybe even greater than the earlier Han dynasty. It was also considered as the golden age of cosmopolitan culture. So here you can see in this map the area that the Tang rulers ruled. Now, administration. The Tang kings of the early period displayed their administrative skills by introducing order and peace everywhere in the empire. They, however, did not bring about any revolutionary changes in the administration. So, you see, they ruled over a very vast area that stretched from Korea to North Vietnam. It even reached west as far as Afghanistan. It took a very organized government to control all this territory. And the Tang established a detailed code of laws and administrative functions. They taxed the people based on their land and also required that farmers serve in the army for a period. See, to make one's rule successful, you not only need to extend your empire or extend your territory of ruling, but you need to be very skillful administrator, and the Tang rulers exhibited that skill very efficiently. So what they did, they only made the administration more powerful and effective. Centralized administration was conducted by officials recruited on the basis of merit through competitive examinations. So what they did not let anyone rule their territory. They had chosen the correct or appropriate person for that. How? Through competitive examination, and whoever came out successfully in those competitions, they administered this region. Because of this system, the important official post could be occupied only by eligible persons, and not anyone related to the present ruler can, or related to the present administrator can rule or can administer that particular region. Whoever would be chosen as administrator has to give these examinations to qualify in it. Besides, this system put an end to exclusive domination of the nobles in administration, keeping in mind the people's uprising which led to the fall of Sui dynasty. The Tang kings reformed the existing laws. Which law? That the people who are keen to the nobles would be rulers or administrators. That law was changed to this searching or choosing the qualified administrator for the territory. So you see, the kings of Tang dynasty were really very intelligent in this, and they proved their efficiency in choosing the correct or right administrator, and that is why this Tang dynasty ruled for a very long period of time. Now, learning and literature of this period. The Tang dynasty of ancient China, which lasted through 618 to 907 AD, had an emphasis on educating citizens. This led to more sophisticated works in poetry. The Chinese had more advanced system of education, and Emperor Taizong, who was also known as Li Shimim, had some visions for where he wanted the system to go, which were put in place and set out a frame for Chinese education. So we can give credit to Emperor Taizong for making an excellent system of education for China. There was greater gender equality in education, and there were famous female poets as well, though the more well-known poets were men. The Tang dynasty had a large focus on educating citizens and teaching the arts, which led to the Chinese people having exceptional works of poetry that are still studied to this day. So you see that the Tang emperors, they laid huge emphasis on educating citizens, and as a result, what happened, many people, both men and women, came up as with their excellent literary skills, mainly in the region of, or mainly in the domain of poetry. They exhibited their skills, and this Tang period, noted for the flowering of Chinese literature, it was known as the golden age of poetry. So you know the reason behind it, because these emperors given importance to education, and that's why people of that time came up with their excellent literary skills or creative skills. Many poets composed numerous poems. In 18th century, the Manchu Emperor Kangxi compiled the poems of Tang period in the anthology entitled Xuan Tangxi. This book contains nearly 48,000 poems written by 4,200 poets. So you can see that the people during that time were so educated, they were so creative, that they wrote numerous thousands of poems during this time. Two outstanding poets of the contemporary China were Li Po, who was also known as Li Bai, and Tu Fu, who was also known as Du Fu. So they are very famous poets of the time, and the poetry that were compiled during the Tang period were read even today. So that was all for today. If you have any query, you can send your queries in the given mail ID. Thank you.